listeners. Welcome to Plano's Political Pitbull Podcast. I am Esther.
And I'm Ruth.
And today we are going to talk about Texas and Plano. But first, our sponsor is Southwest Pain Management. Southwest Pain Management takes care of most chronic pain without pain pills. Their goal is to get you back to doing the things you love. They are also the world's leading long COVID experts. Dr. Groisman sees people from all over the world to treat their long COVID. Southwest Pain Management is in Plano. Please go to their website, reliefbeginshere.com. That's reliefbeginshere.com to see all that they do. So, our second special session of the Texas legislature has adjourned, and they have checked off a few things from the governor's list. They passed disaster relief for the flood victims in the Hill Country. They also passed a package to improve emergency planning, communication systems, and a flood warning system. So hopefully they will never have that horrible disaster and loss of life that they had. It's not going to prevent floods, but it may lessen the casualties of them. They also passed a bill to get rid of the STAR test and replace it with test assessments throughout the year. So these are shorter, smaller assessments throughout the year, starting at the beginning, where you're going to assess where the kid currently is, then the middle, how they're doing, and then at the end of the year.
So you mean what they already do? Teachers give assessments all the time.
Well, then this will be no different.
Well, that's why I'm confused with the replacing. You're not replacing, you're just getting rid of the STAR test and just using the tests the teachers are already giving.
Great. If the teachers are already doing it, then less work for the teachers. And we get rid of the STAR test week that interferes with the kids' learning. You know I hate standardized tests, but I think it's important that they have smaller assessments that they do. I mean, yeah, teachers are constantly assessing kids. And
yeah, you have the formative assessment, which is the teacher assessing essentially every day in the classroom. You may not notice you're being assessed, but you are being assessed. And then you have the summative assessments, which are like your unit tests.
Right. So they could do something like unit tests just to assess the kids. I don't know the details of these things. Most likely they're going to be up to the school districts, because I don't think that the legislature got into the minutia. They just want the kids to get assessed at least 3 times a year. If the teacher's already doing that, check. We don't have to do anything extra. So, moving on, there was some things that happened with quorum breaking. They made the penalties harder. So, I'm going to read what one of our Collin County reps said about this, Miss Candy Noble, over on the east side of Collin County, in her Noble report. She said, to prevent future quorum breaks, they passed HB 18, a law that is now on the governor's desk, which will prohibit those who are not present on the House floor who have willfully prevented the House from obtaining a quorum to conduct business. Those who are absent without an excused absence shall no longer be allowed to fundraise while denying the Texas House a quorum. So they hurt them where it really, really hurts in their bank account. Also, Ms. Noble says, currently each of those who left owe a little over $9,000 in fines. Don't know where they're going to get that money from. And until those fines are paid, 30% of their office budget is encumbered each month. They really hurt them in the pocketbook. So the penalties they have added now, and this is going to really hurt, if they ever break quorum again, each member who leaves will lose 2 years of seniority for each day they are absent without an excused absence for the purpose of breaking quorum. Why is this important? Because offices and committee assignments are decided by seniority. Okay. Seniority is very important in any legislature, and some of these guys will be relegated to the basement of the Capitol and will lose favored committee assignments. Each member who leaves to keep a quorum, Ms. Noble continues, from being achieved will be removed as a chair or a vice chair and be ineligible to fill another position for the duration of that legislative session. Number 3, members will be assessed a fine equal to 3 times the current per diem amount. That's their pay, which is almost nothing. And lastly, members will forfeit their office budget for the legislative days they are absent. Now that will hurt their staff. So if they care about their staff, they'll make sure they show up to work next time. So that is what will happen in the future if anybody dares to break quorum again. The legislature also created 15 new district courts. No, I don't know where they are. I'm sorry. Wasn't able to find that out. A few items, though, sadly, on the governor's list did not get passed. Taxpayer-funded lobbying ban was pretty much dead on arrival. I don't even think it got a hearing. And lowering the amount of property tax increase, a tax entity can raise property taxes. That was SB 10. We talked about that. That one also died. It was very interesting. Both chambers passed a version of the bill, but for some reason they couldn't join together and get married and decide on a percentage allowed maximum increase. So one chamber wanted 2% max, another chamber wanted a 1% max increase. I am baffled by why they could not come together to agree on a number. It makes utterly no sense to me. Each passed a bill out of their own chamber, yet they could not compromise. Personally, I would have been happy with either a 1 or 2% increase. One would have been better, but right now the number is 3.5% increase maximum before the taxing entity has to go to the voters and ask permission to raise their taxes any higher. So that didn't work out too well. Maybe next time, guys. But now I wonder, since the bill that Plano was so worried about died, are they going to be raising our tax rate all the way up to 44.6 cents, the highest tax rate increase in 3 years, on Monday, September 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m. That's when they vote on the budget, the community investment program, and the tax rate. So what do you think they're going to do?
I honestly haven't been paying attention.
Do you think they're going to raise the rate all the way up to 44.6%?
What rate?
The tax rate. Follow the bouncing ball.
I was still thinking about the star thing because I kind of... You went on without me.
I'm sorry. What did you want to say?
My brain has been stuck.
Okay. What is your brain stuck on with the STAR test?
Well, I'm stuck on the word replace. Because maybe it's just I'm stuck on semantics. But do you not think that teachers have to give unit tests?
I would think they do.
They do. So what are you saying replace for? You're basically insinuating that teachers don't already give tests throughout the year, and this STAR test, which, yes, I think is stupid. I hate the STAR test. In some ways, I think it's detrimental to students than helpful, especially for special education students. I mean, not even an adult can pass that test. I swear. I've seen some of the questions on that test. An adult can't answer those. Anywho, I mean, they're spending the entire spring semester, first part of it anyway, just preparing students for the STAR test instead of teaching students
Right. Well, good
valuable knowledge. Anywho, the fact that they're saying, well, we're going to take away the STAR test and we're going to replace it with at least 3 assessments. What do you think we've been doing? What do you think we've been doing? That's kind of insulting.
Well, we are talking about the Texas legislature. Look, people have been complaining about the STAR
You are
test.
required to give summative assessments.
Well, then I guess that means that nothing changes other than the STAR test goes away.
Exactly. So what's with the freaking language?
Well, they couldn't just say we're going to get rid of the STAR test.
Why not? That's what everyone wanted.
They had to put it in state law that they will be making periodic assessments.
Oh, like normal.
Of some kind. If you don't say that, then people will think they don't have to do it. Now, I know you say that teachers do that.
You have to. Otherwise, how do you know what the students know?
Good question. Are there districts out there who don't require their teachers to do that? Is this what the legislature is assuming?
I can't imagine any school not giving any tests.
I can't either. But the legislature can't assume that they're going to do that. The school districts are going to have required these
Or
things.
even not just tests, but assessments, as in like let's say it's a project-based school, and they have their assessments are projects. That's still an assessment.
Yes, it is. Then, again, I don't think that the teachers need to worry. They've gotten rid of the STAR test. If the school district is requiring some sort of assessments throughout the year, whether it be by tests, projects, some kind of assessment, testing, then no problem. You're already doing that. You don't have to do anything extra. If you're a teacher who doesn't do that, if you're a school district who doesn't do that, then you've got an issue. If your own maybe there were only teachers and school districts who were just using the STAR test. I know it's unlikely, but we've got how many school districts in the state of Texas? You cannot know what is going on in every single solitary district in every single solitary classroom. They just can't. It's impossible. So that's what they came up with. If the teacher's already doing that, great.
I'm happy that the STAR test is being removed and that they're just going to be using the, assessments. I still don't know exactly if this is going to be, your typical unit test or something more. They're not being very specific. So we'll see.
We will see.
I was just a little insulted by the language.
Okay. Yes, you.
Because they're making it sound like teachers don't already do that.
Well, of course they do. They do it every day. They do it with the kids' homework. They do it with class assignments. So
that like the only assessments these kids have ever gotten, which parents know isn't even true because the kids have to study for their tests, is the STAR test, which doesn't even measure students' actual knowledge.
Yeah. I always felt and believed that they should just forget all of these standardized tests, and there should be a work portfolio for each child. And everything they've done throughout the year should be in there. And then you can see growth. You can see progress. You can see where they've started and where they've ended.
I mean, you know that the STAR test is BS when you literally class for what was it, like 3 months?
3 months?
Out of the year to prepare for this, starting from January up until, March or April.
3 months?
They're studying and preparing for the STAR test.
You guys never did that when you were in school. I realized you went to a private school.
We didn't take the STAR test.
But you did take a standardized test.
Yes, but it wasn't the STAR test.
No. And you didn't have to study for it. They didn't prep you for it. They just said, we're doing it this week. Here you go. Good luck. That was it.
Nope.
Which is the best way to prepare, which is the best way to do it, because then you actually get a better assessment. Not that it's great. I mean, any standardized test is like the EKG of education.
Yeah, but
it only shows you what happened on that day.
Yeah. So when I student taught in public schools, and I'm seeing that from January, and I'm hearing from classmates as well, from other student teachers, that especially the older, especially the like 5th graders and 4th graders, from January to like March, when the STAR test is like in March,
yeah, it's around March
they
time.
are prepping for the STAR test, particularly math. In math class, all they do every day for those weeks is prep for the STAR test.
Why are they doing that?
Because it's ridiculously difficult, and unless you know what to expect, you're gonna fail.
Wow. See, we had standardized testing when I grew up, and
that's why people advocated for it to be removed, because it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was unrealistic. I saw just a couple of questions from that test, and every single one I was like, I can't answer these.
Wow. Wow. Well, I see why they have to prep. That is ridiculous. Well, it's gone now, so teachers don't have to deal with that. It's not going to be be replaced with another test, so that's a good thing. Like I said, I think you should have a portfolio. What was the kids' writing like in the beginning of the year, and then give them a writing assignment in the middle of the year, look and see what that looks like, and then at the end of the year. And
That's what you do in elementary.
if you don't see growth, then there's an issue. If you don't see growth from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year, then you know you've got a problem and you've got to work harder from the middle of the year to the end of the year.
Well, that's what you do for the younger kids who don't take the STAR test. You have either, well, you probably have both. You have the portfolio, and then you also have these assessments to check on progress, like the reading the reading assessments for like kindergartners to check on what they're doing on their reading and their letter identification and all that.
Right. I don't understand that. That's great. Why just do that? Continue doing that all the way up until 12th grade. All right. Are you ready to move on now?
Yes, I've gotten it out. It's no longer plaguing my brain.
Okay.
You always just go too fast for me.
And
then I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry. Tap me. Give me a sign. Okay. All right. So, as I said, SB 10 is dead. They could not come to an agreement on what the maximum amount increase an entity could raise the taxes. I don't know why they couldn't come to an agreement. You had 2%, another chamber wanted 1%. You know, meet in the middle. 1.5 would have been good. I would have taken that, because right now it's 3.5% increase max before you are allowed to go to the voters. Or I should not allowed to go to the voters, but have to go to the voters for their approval on anything higher. So I wonder, do you think that the city of Plano is going to raise our taxes all the way up, the maximum they're allowed, 44.6 cents or $248 per homeowner on Monday, September 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m.? Or do you think they're actually going to vote on a lower rate?
Well, didn't they already discuss wanting to raise it that high?
They did, twice.
Then yes.
You think they're not going to vote? I mean, Maria, too, kept saying, well, we can always go down, right? They can't go up, but they can go down before they vote.
I don't have faith.
I
don't
think so.
I don't have faith at all. My faith in humanity has been dwindling. Especially politician humanity.
Yes. I don't think there is humanity in politics. I don't think the two go together. Because if it did, they would lower that rate and pick somewhere in the middle. Maybe $100 increase or $150. Again, meet me in the middle. You know, instead of raising it $248, raise it $148. Not bad. Zero raise would be great, but let's face it, that's never going to happen. Although, I did hear that the city of Allen, get a hold of this, the city of Allen is actually cutting their tax rate. The people who live in Allen are very lucky. I mean, don't get me wrong, their appraised values still probably went up, so they're probably going to see a higher tax bill, but it's not going to be as high as ours. considering they're lowering their rate. So mazel tov to the city of Allen people. Can y'all come here? Teach a few things to the city of Plano? Because I'd like to know how they do it. Like, really, you're going to leave all that money on the table? They're not even going for the no new revenue rate. They are actually lowering their tax rate. That's incredible to me. They're cutting it. I'm amazed. Round of applause for the city of Allen. Consider yourself lucky. Well, I don't have too much hope either that they are going to lower it, because interestingly, I looked at the agenda for tomorrow, September 8th, 2025, and the tax rate is the last thing to get voted on. So first they're going to vote on the budget. Then they're going to vote on the community investment program. Then the tax rate.
Isn't that a little backwards?
That's a lot backwards. It's like a household deciding what they're going to spend their money on
before they get their paycheck.
You read my mind. Exactly. Like, how do you vote on your tax rate last? That makes utterly no sense unless it's already cooked in.
Yeah, unless you already know what it's going to be.
But let me tell you, folks, it's not a guarantee. All right? If, let's say, the budget passes, and then the CPI passes, and then the tax rate is up. If they go down, they have to go back and they have to change, oh my gosh, the budget. I mean, remember, they don't even have to vote for any of these things tomorrow, September 8th. They can vote no, because the fiscal year does not start until October 1st of 2025.
They do this early for the chance to have revisions.
Exactly. So if they vote no, which they can, or if they change the rate, which they can, then they can go back and change the budget. And here are some suggestions for what they can cut. The $8 million to the Economic Development Fund. They don't need all that money. They've already got, I think, last check, $41 million in that fund. They never use that whole fund. They'll do $1 million here, $1 million there, sometimes less than that, 100,000 depending on the business they'll give these grants to. But they never spend the full amount in the fund. They never even come close to spending the full amount that's even budgeted in the fund. So they can lop off $6 million right from that. That's $2 million left over if my math is right. Take the 6 and use it to lower the tax rate by 1 cent, because according to our lovely Karen Rhodes-Ridley, budget director, every $6 million is 1 cent on the property tax rate. So take $6 million of that and get rid of 1 cent so that it's not as painful for us. You know what I'm going to say next?
Of course I know what you're going to say next.
Adios to the dinners for the city council. Pack a lunch, guys. Or in this case, pack a dinner. And also, you can reduce the amount you get paid. No, let's face it, it's not much to begin with. It's a token. As far as I'm concerned, they could give you $1. I think they get $1,000 or something like that. It's not much. It's not a lot. It's a lot to some people, but for these folks, got 2 lawyers, we got a bunch of businessmen, businesswomen on the council. I don't know, $1,000? Not a heck of a lot for them. So, they're not in it for the money. I actually don't know why they're there, but
get why politicians get paid anyway.
Well, that is actually written into the Constitution of the United States that the reps will get a salary.
Well, wasn't that because they had to take
months off?
Yeah, months off because transportation was much slower.
Well, yeah, it was difficult to get there by horse and carriage.
Yeah.
So that was part of it, but they were there and they weren't minding their businesses at home or their farms at home. So they wanted compensation for the folks in the future who would get elected. So that's why they put it in there. Obviously, states then incorporated that, and so did cities and towns. Interestingly, the school board of Plano, I don't know about other school boards, but the school boards, they don't get paid at all. They get nothing, which I'm not quite sure how they get away with that. I don't know why that's like that, but fine. You know what? Good. You don't get paid? Great. You're just a volunteer. Very happy that way. These folks do get paid, but it doesn't say how much they have to get paid. I mean, our state legislatures get barely anything. They get a little stipend and they get budgets for their office. I think their staff makes more than they do, which is one of the reasons why they're not there full time. They're only there every other year.
Mm-hmm. But the thing, I think city council in particular, like, I get it for, the federal government, and, you're not, especially back then when transportation, but even now, because you're not at work minding your business and everything, when you're working in DC, you're away, especially if you come from the West Coast.
Yeah.
But for city council, you're still working your day-to-day job. There's nothing stopping you from that.
Right.
You don't need the extra money, and you're probably not even running for the money anyway, so what's the point?
If you're running for the money, you're in the hole. Okay? Because to win a city council election now is very expensive. And you're not making that up with your salary.
So what's the point of it anyway? It just kind of seems like there's no point.
Well, it is in the charter. That's our city constitution. So they have to give them a salary. Something. Like I said, it could be $1. But they don't have to give them dinner. That's not in the city charter. And or their transportation or any other thing that they may do while they're on the job. I'm not paying for that. You are there because, as some of them said, you want to give back. You want to serve your community. I don't know if I totally believe that, but that's what they say. I mean, I'm sure half of them are in it for some power grab, as all politicians are.
I mean, it is nice to get a meal at your workplace. Like, don't get me wrong, that's nice. But this is not a business. This is not a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are paying for this is the city.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not necessary when we also have to pay for bunch of other more important stuff.
Yeah. And your citizens.
And you can probably lessen the load on the citizens.
Yes. It's ironic that they put out a peanut butter drive, which I'm not quite sure what we're doing peanut butter in the advent of all the allergies, but
peanut butter is still very popular.
To, nuts and peanuts. But every year they do a peanut butter drive at City Council or City Hall. And every year the City Council makes these ridiculous real videos. I swear, there's something you can cut. There's something you can cut. These ridiculous promotional videos.
Last year's, right, that I'm thinking of, was hilarious. It was so absolutely ridiculous. It was hilarious.
I think that was the one with the football.
Yes. It was the football.
That was the football theme. No, this year, they asked each council members. Well, it wasn't with the football. It was the peanut butter was in place of the football.
Yes,
but it had
that still made it funny.
Yeah. NFL theme, which don't know how they got around the copyright stuff, but okay. Anyway, so this year they asked each council members what their favorite kind of peanut butter was.
What if you were allergic to it?
Then you can choose a different nut. That's what I said. I'm like, they've got all this peanut butter out, on the dais by the microphone. And I'm just like thinking, oh, a poor person with a peanut allergy would probably really be shell-shocked. But luckily it's in jars. And
wait, there's actually somebody with a peanut allergy on?
No, I'm just thinking if somebody wanted to come and speak and they have a bad peanut allergy, could you imagine that person wanting to go near the microphone?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, they said creamy, crunchy, natural were the options. It's ridiculous. Please, don't try to be funny, okay? Just don't. You look ridiculous, and you're wasting money.
But does it get attention?
I would like to see if there is a dramatic increase in peanut butter jar donations with these things. But you know what? I don't really care if there is. I'm going to be mean here. This is not the city's job. If a food bank needs peanut butter and wants to have a peanut butter drive, the food bank can do it. They don't need our help.
You mean they can? You mean the food drive can advertise it?
Exactly.
Is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yes, you can. The city can announce that we're doing the peanut butter drive. Maybe on their Facebook page, which is free, they can put it down. They don't need to make a reel or a video or any kind of ridiculous thing. All they have to do is put it on their Facebook page, a picture of a jar of peanut butter or any nut butter of your choice, and say, annual peanut butter drive, bring your peanut butter jars to these locations. Done. And it doesn't cost us anything. You don't need to hire the videographer, the person who edits, and all these people.
Do you even need a videographer when you can literally just pull out your phone?
Well, somebody's got to take the video and put it up on the website or put it up on social media.
They have to hire someone to do that?
Of course they do. Nobody's going to do that for free.
I'm just saying. It's not that hard.
I know, but they have a PR staff. The city has a PR person. Why does the city need a PR person?
For PR.
See, it's called a map. You're on the map already. You get that for free. Google Maps.
No. Do you know what PR stands for?
Public relations. Yes, I know what PR stands for. But, and they do it to get publicity. I mean, it's
Good publicity.
good publicity. Well, yes. For some say there is no bad publicity.
Except when you're in politics.
Maybe. But I don't get why in the world a city needs advertising of any kind. I mean, they have a tourist department. This is what I'm talking about. The waste is absurd. I don't know, I grew up, I don't think cities have these things.
I know of some politicians who could use a PR team to stop them from saying the stupidest things.
Yes, some politicians do have a PR person in their office.
You know why? To stop them from being stupid.
It's not working.
It doesn't work all the time, no.
Yeah.
But it probably helps a little bit.
Yes. So we have links to the budget. You can take a look for it yourself on our website, www.planospoliticalpitbull.com. If you want to speak or register your opposition to anything on the agenda for September 8th, you must sign up or register by 4 p.m. online. Sorry, guys, there's no in-person anymore. I guess they don't like the seniors who are technology impaired. To register, you go to forms.plano.gov/sign-up_citizens. Let me repeat that. forms.plano.gov/forms/sign-up_citizen. I will put a link on our own website because in case you missed any of that, you can just click on the link. Now for our very important dog.
Right. Our very important dog is still Zeus. Poor boy.
Poor Zuzi.
He is a friendly boy, about 5 years of age. So not that young, but not that old either. He's perfectly in the middle. He is a smart dog who will make a great companion for you. He's playful and was never cleaned by his owner. One of his eyes has a genetic defect, but it doesn't slow him down. He's an active and sweet boy who really wants a new home. And he's so affectionate and just a love bug. So please, find him a home.
And if you'd like to find out more about Zeus, you can go to our website, www.planospoliticalpitbull.com, and click on the link Pit Bulls for Adoption. We have a very cute picture of Zeus up, and we look forward to being able to take him down because he got adopted and have a new dog.
Every new dog gives us joy because it means the previous one got adopted and found a good home.
Yes. That is all for today, folks. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you feel like it, please leave a comment. This is Esther.
And this is Ruth.
For Plano's Political Pitbull, signing off.